This is going to be an eclipse relationship reading. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. We're going to take a look at the energies between you and your person during this partial lunar eclipse happening with the full moon in Taurus on October 28th. Now, this is closing out a 2-year cycle for everybody, and you may not have realized it, but we actually started a new eclipse cycle with the Ring of Fire, the new moon solar eclipse in Libra that happened a couple weeks ago. So we're basically during a time right now of major change. And what I think we're going to do is take some messages for both you and your person. And then we're going to look at the mental, the emotional, and spiritual aspects of your energy. So let's take a look at your side. What's going on for you? Now, of course, feel free to swap sides if it makes more sense, okay? So let's take a look with this deck here, some messages for you. Dream Thief, refusal of the call. Very interesting. Now, this, in my opinion, is all about fighting the shift. Are you fighting what's happening energetically? You know there's new beginnings. Are you willing to go to that next level? Okay. And let's take a look at what else we need to know. Mindful. Well, it says groupthink on the card, but when I hear mindful, as in two separate words, you may have a lot on your mind, and you've got to basically simplify your life. Okay, let's take a look at your person right now and see what they need to know. Mending. Your person is going through some major healing. And they're thinking too. Oh my. Okay. So, you know, this is a number 44 card. So angels are with you. That's a lovely sign to have. But very interesting. I think both of you are mirroring each other in the fact that you're definitely overthinking. But your person really needs to be on the mend. And you have to allow them that healing if they're asking for that space, which I know is very difficult to do. Okay? Let's take a look at what's going on for you in your headspace. How are you feeling mentally? And we have 5 of Wands. You're feeling conflicted. See, this is my whole point. Fighting the shift. Okay? So you're definitely feeling this conflict or this competition or this tug of war. Should I? Shouldn't I? Can I have this? Can I really have this? And 4 of Wands is 11-11. And this is my whole point. You're embarking on something new. You're ascending. Embrace it. 4 of Wands is 11-11, spiritual ascension. It's a gateway. And I want you to think of the eclipse as like a portal, okay? So interesting that you have this wand energy in your headspace. Okay, let's take a different deck for your person and let's see what's in their headspace. The World, completion of a cycle. Wow. You guys are really mirroring each other. Okay. Ending of a cycle, starting of a new. 5 of Pentacles. They're feeling a little bit left out in the cold. Now, you might be saying you might be the one that feels left out in the cold, but I think they do, and I'll tell you why. Although you may be fighting the shift, you're probably 10 steps ahead of your person. And I say this all the time. They may be feeling like, where did you go? Well, how come you're not responding the same way that you used to? And that's because you're making boundaries. And that's because you're doing a lot of the work that you need to do in a spiritual sense. Now, obviously, we're going to look when we get this, we get the cards for the spiritual side of things. But let's take a look at your emotional space right now. Yeah, the King of Wands. You have all these Wands energy. King of Wands, you're making moves. You might be fearful of making the moves. You might be fighting the shift, but you're making the moves. Your person is still on the mend and having to end a cycle. And I think that they're feeling a little bit left behind. And that should, in theory, give them a bit of a wake-up call, but we'll see. More Wands. You know, in your emotional space, you're mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally exhausted. There's a level of exhaustion, burdens. You got to put down the burdens. I find it so fascinating, all this fire. And yet, if you were to look at the astrology right now, the planets, the planetary placements are not in fire signs. Everything seems to be in earth and water. I mean, what does water do? It nourishes earth. So a very interesting time that we are in. Okay, let's take a look at your person's emotional space, or heart space, you could call it. And we have the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups means intense dreams. It could even be illusions. It could be the fact that a decision needs to be made. And I always say not making a decision is making a decision. So all they need to do is just choose and see what happens, right? But I think they're overthinking, and I think that they are mending and maybe taking some time. And there's the Six of Pentacles. So in their heart space or their emotional space, they're trying to find some balance. They do want to be able to give to you. And, you know, another way to look at this Five of Coins, feeling left out in the cold, maybe to some extent they're distant because they're protecting you. And I know that that's very hard to understand sometimes. It feels very backwards, but they do it out of protection. They do it because they know they can't give, and they push you away because they think it's better for you, right? Even though, you know, you might take it personally. So let's take a look at the spiritual space for you. Oh, well, we got a confirmation of a kitty sneeze. I mean, it never fails when I film, you know. Well, there's the offer. Okay. The sneeze was the confirmation of an offer. Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles is studying. It's learning. It's an offer. It's recognition. This is saying, I'm going to do something different than I normally do, right? I'm not going to be so by the book. And I think that's a really nice energy to be in for you. And there's the High Priestess, spiritual ascension. You're getting the signs and synchronicities here. Now, I apologize. I should probably move these cards up a little bit so you can see them all. Let's see if they slide nicely. Okay, they do. Good. I really think that in the spiritual space, you're getting these signs, these synchronicities, and the universe is basically offering you something. Are you ready to accept it? Are you ready to go to the next level? And here's a card popping out for your person. Ten of Cups, ultimate wish fulfillment. They're recognizing spiritually that, you know, there is fulfillment here. Can have it all. Justice, equal giving and receiving. How beautiful. The Six of Pentacles, right, is the minor arcana. And now we have here the Justice card, which is that equal giving and receiving major arcana. Well, like I said, as soon as I film, I have kitty parkour, scratching posts, you know, sneezes. That's a new one. All right. I know a lot of you said in my last video that you liked the kitty confirmations. So, you know, let's embrace what the spiritual cats have to say. Let's go back and look at the oracle cards to sort of see why these cards are coming up. So in your headspace, in the mental space, you're conflicted. Well, there's the man, the masculine energy. Now, there's two things. Now, this could be you, a man that you're dealing with, but it can also indicate masculine energy. Now, be careful with masculine energy because it means, yes, you need to move yourself forward. Absolutely. We talked about going to the next level, but it also can be careful that you're not chasing the relationship. You know, if your person needs that space, allow them that space. I know that's hard to do, but in the long run, it's better for you. Do you want short-term pain, long-term gain? Or do you want short-term gain, long-term pain? Because every time you chase, you're giving yourself a short-term gain. And then you feel that pain after when you feel left out in the cold. Now that Four of Wands, yeah. See, the beaver energy is things working for you, but also against you. I get that. That's sort of like the fighting the shift vibe. But at the same time, this is making dreams real. You know, new things on the horizon. And there are so many new things coming your way. You just don't even realize it yet. Now, in your person's headspace or their mental space, this says maybe more info needed. So they need time. This is what I was saying to you earlier. They need time. And the Hermit, see, feeling left out in the cold or maybe taking some time. The Hermit, not surprised. Okay. In your heart space or your emotional space, we had the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is about passion and forward motion. It's nurturing. Very strong energy. See, trust divine timing. What else can you do right now? You have to trust. Trust that everything's going to work out the way that it's supposed to. And there's the dog. You're divinely guided. You're supported. It's very much a soulmate energy. Just know, put down the burdens and you'll be okay. And I know that's so hard for people because we always feel like we're left holding the bag. We always feel like we have to be a one-person show, and it doesn't always have to be that way. We have to change that story. Now, in your person's emotional state or heart space, well, there's the cross. Divinely guided. We just talked about this. Supported. There's fate here involved. Let's see. That's Six of Pentacles. Equal giving and receiving. Expect the unexpected. I think that once your person starts to get balanced and give, things are going to start to move in a much different direction. I think they're going to get a spark back in their life. It's going to help them move forward. Now, in the spiritual sense for you, well, this card has been coming out a lot actually lately for me in my readings. We've got the Clover card, luck, unexpected rendezvous. You're going to get an offer of something. I think somebody may come in and offer you a get-together, a chat, maybe even going to the next level. The High Priestess, spiritual ascension. Yeah, the Tower. We've had a lot of Tower moments lately. They don't have to be, super earth-shattering for us, but there's like little mini towers that have been happening lately. It could be health, it could be work, it could be relationships. And in your person's spiritual side here, the Empress. The Empress. Okay. Birthing a whole new cycle. And with that, we have the moon. Full moon in Taurus, partial lunar eclipse is going to bring some justice here. Now, Venus is an interesting card to come out because Venus is all about self-worth, self-value, self-respect, how we love, money even, how we spend money. But, the new moon solar eclipse was in Libra, which is ruled by Venus. And also this full moon in Taurus is ruled by Venus. So there's a lot of Venus vibes that are happening right now. So definitely an intense energy. Now, I'm going to go with another round of Oracle here just to sort of feel things out. Let's go back to the headspace. Are you ready to roll the dice? Are you ready to make a move? Okay. In your person's headspace, ascension, hot air balloon, balance. Your person has had now 3 references to balance. They're trying to mend. They're trying to recalibrate. And they're going through a process. And that's why I said if they need space, allow them that time. Okay? It even says feeling good. They want to feel good again. In your heart space, or your emotional space, you might be feeling a little bit lonely or confined or even detached. But sometimes we need a little bit of alone time. And that's why I'm saying if your person's asking for that space, give it. A little bit of space can do you good too. Okay? Let's see what's going on in their emotional space. The Sapphire, mental force, spiritual insight, hope and faith. Interesting. Divine favor. Well, there's the cross right there. We had that a moment ago. And in your spiritual space, we have forked road. You're getting a lot of decision points. Are you in the old? Are you in the new? And I want to remind you, it's not about gender, but understand that feminine energy leads in the 5D, masculine energy leads in the 3D. That's why when I say you're 10 steps ahead, it's for you to lead in the spiritual space. When you do that, you watch what happens in your relationship or your connection. Okay? Now, in your person's spiritual space, it says the Dear John letter. And I don't know if the name John is of any meaning to anyone, but, this is about saying goodbye to the old stuff. And whatever wasn't working before, right, has to be let go of. And that's why the Empress is about birthing a whole new cycle, finding balance. We got to let go of the old ways in order to have the new. Well, let's take some Power of Surrender cards just to see what we need to surrender or surrender to here with this eclipse. I'll take one for each side. So for you, we have surrender the drama. No matter how emotionally charged the situation, remain calm and don't contribute to the drama. Staying centered will help resolve the issue more quickly. Okay, interesting. Now, in your person's side here, surrender frustration. Frustration doesn't open any doors. The key to resolving a dilemma or to solving a block is to take a breath, center yourself, and regroup so you may approach the situation more calmly. I wanted to share something that I heard in a video the other day. And just as a reminder, masculine energy responds to challenge. It doesn't respond to praise. And this is why I always talk about the cake analogy and say you can't pull somebody up the cake. You're not there to be their cheerleader. You're not there to overpraise them or to overgive to them or problem solve for them. I always say this about students in a classroom as well. If we tell students that they are A+ at everything they do and that they're all superstars, the research shows that they don't become their best selves or best achieved students, if that makes sense. So it's the same thing in regards to relationships. Understand that masculine energy needs to problem solve, okay? They need the challenge. And so again, this is not about gender. We all have masculine and feminine energies. You could even watch this video for your own masculine and feminine energies. But just understand that it's important that if they need that time where they're on the mend or they've got to problem solve something, let them do it. Okay, I remind you, do you want short-term pain, long-term gain, or short-term gain, long-term pain? So I really hope this resonates with you. Thank you so much for listening to this reading. I wish you all an amazing lunar eclipse in Taurus. Change is coming.